don't know who made us believe that our 30s are for settling down, because for me, this is the time to double down. I know more than ever who my most authentic self actually is, how to make money to sustain myself, how to be healthy enough to function and even thrive. And without those things, creativity doesn't stand a chance. It's hard to make art when you're in survival mode, when your health is shot, or when you're self-censoring to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. In my opinion, your 30s are literally the best time to double down on your creativity, your dreams, your art. And the thing is, I get it, like especially as women, or a woman who didn't marry a man, in my case, who didn't have children and decentered men and went the opposite direction in my late 20s and 30s. I know I'm considered strange by many. That's the patriarchy talking, and it's bullshit. Here's the thing. In your 20s, you're figuring out how to not destroy your health, how not to burn your bridges in your careers, and all the things you need to just feel safe in the world. In your 30s, most of us have a much better idea of how to feel safe in the world. And the best part is that not only are you out of the messy 20s, but you're still so fucking young. In your 30s, you're still so young. You're not 70. You're not hurting everywhere all the time. Yes, you're hurting more. Definitely, we all have joint pain. We all notice the difference. But you can still build muscle if you're able-bodied. You can feel energized. You can avoid long-term disease as best as possible with your socioeconomic situation, of course. But the bottom line is we're still fucking young. So the idea that your 30s are when you're supposed to settle and like give up on life, that's literally insane. And it's the opposite, at least for most of us. I'm in a place where I'm actively designing my 30s to be an experience that bulletproofs my next few decades, so that my 40s, 50s, 60s, even as the health challenges naturally will continue to rise, are even better. I want those decades to feel like I can still thrive, because everything I'm doing now is in service of what I actually love, which is art. Guess how late it already is. It is almost 7 p.m. and this day has not gone to plan. Just did not sleep well, and I'm just In a perfect world, I would now be full of energy in my creative flow, but that is not the case. My girlfriend and I are both going through some uncertainty individually in like career and health, and I'm just really fucking tired. That being said, it is only 7 p.m. and I still have all evening. I'm going to lock the fuck in because I still have like 3 hours before I fall asleep, or at least before I go to bed. I could even just make music in bed, but I actually got this bouncy ball because my posture is literally so bad. I bought a gym ball. So yeah, this is me. I'm actually really low, but that's perfect for my posture. Anyway, this is fucking boring. I'm gonna get to work. I was actually, to be fair, I was doing some YouTube, so I didn't completely just like lie around all afternoon, but my energy is low, even though the motivation is there. And also, I had this moment where just for like, just for a few minutes, I was listening to a song that I started yesterday that I want to continue on today. And you know when you start something and you're still kind of like seeing the vision or hearing the vision and you still feel that spark? I've already lost that. Like when I listened to that song 2 hours ago or so, I was like, what the fuck is this?
So I'm gonna see if that can still be salvaged or if the moment has passed. Good morning. It is now the next day and I need to tell you about what happened last night because I stopped filming. Because I mentioned this in another video, my best work happens always when the cameras are off. And the problem is that when I have my cameras turned on, like even just like my phone, I know that it's filming me somewhere. I can't get into a completely safe, relaxed, creative flow. So what I did was I turned off the camera and I instead turned on my keyboard. Actually, it's my girlfriend's keyboard that I used as a MIDI keyboard, and I played some synths and just getting my body to make the music instead of my computer, if that makes sense. That was exactly what I needed. I ended up creating some stuff that I think is quite beautiful because I really enjoyed the process. It's my typical like ambient that is just complete improv. I leave everything as is. I do not edit it. I just export it the way it is. And for me, that's part of the whole point of it. Like, it's supposed to be really raw. I don't know a single person who does it this way, but that's just what feels right to me. I recorded 4 separate parts, but the whole thing comes into one concept. So I'm thinking about releasing that. And yeah, I was just in a lot of physical pain because of my chronic illness and I was just feeling really shit. But then as soon as I started using my body, it actually really helped. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but involve your body in your art. It's not like I was like exercising while making music, but just involving my hands, my arms, my foot on the pedal, you know, swaying my body. Like, it really made all the difference. That's what essentially made me be able to get into a creative flow and just have original expressions instead of thinking about, you know, when I'm like sitting in my software and I'm arranging a song, it becomes too heady. It becomes too technical, too like almost intellectual, rather than it just being like in a creative flow, like a raw expression. So yeah, I think like just involving my body really helped. Turning off the camera really helped. And in turn, that then made me feel better. So it kind of fed into each other. So that was nice. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again. And have a nice day.